What's up, guys? In today's video I'm going to be attempting to install the ORD Swaybar disconnect along with a fresh set of bushings for the Swaybar. I've been driving my truck for some time with no Swaybar, and to say it the best way, it feels like I'm driving a sailboat half the time, like I got a pirate ship. And I'm trying to, make this thing have a little better street manners, along with being able to disconnect the Swaybar and flex it out, which, it does pretty alright. If you see some of my shorts, it really does flex. So we're going to try and get this together, and I'll show you guys what all is involved. Alright, so we've got the entire contents laid out. We've got our main bolts that go into the leaf spring plates, and then a bushing. We got two side bushings, another two. I believe this will be used to hold the Swaybar up. You've got the pins that we're going to be using to disconnect, and then the pins that will go through these pins, along with some instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and read these, try to fully understand what we're doing, and then walk you guys through what we got to do. Okay, so the first thing I recommend doing is going and spray painting these bad boys because they come unfinished. It's not a super great paint job. I just wanted to stop some of the rust from building. And then they have you remove the Swaybar and keep your original washers. My Swaybar's been off for a while, but I did keep the hardware, luckily. So what the next move is to do is you grab your bolt with this pin here. You'll slide one washer onto here. You'll slide your bushing onto here, along with this sleeve, like that. Then you will slide this onto the bushing, which might be pretty challenging. I'm probably going to go get some lubrication. Let's see if I can do it real fast without, though. A lot of times it'll take a vise or something like that to be able to get this to push down in, but I'm going to try it with lube first, and then I may end up getting the vise, or I might step on it. We'll figure it out. Yeah, and then you'll put your other bushing in here, and then you'll put the washer in, and you'll be good to go. So let's get that done. Alright, we're back with everything assembled. So I actually kind of changed a little bit. I ended up pulling everything apart, sliding the bushings into the shackle, whatever you want to call this, quick disconnect. Something that I forgot to mention when making the video is that they include some grease that you need to put on the bushings. You put it anywhere that the bushing contacts metal, so you just slide it in between the shackle and the bushing, and then the sleeve that slides on the inside diameter. And then sliding the inner bushing into it. But then, like I was saying, you just do like this, reuse your original washer, and then they recommend Loctiting this. So I've got some Loctite, we'll put that on, and then we'll get it installed into the leaf spring. Alright guys, so obviously it just slides in right here. Should be pretty simple. So something they very specifically call out in the instructions is not to over tighten this. And that is because if it's too tight, it'll get bound up. So we're going to get it snug enough to where like it doesn't move real easy, doesn't feel like it's going to fall out, but to where I can still move it by hand. We're going to go one looser than that. And then, like I said, we've got Loctite on it, so hopefully that should keep it right in place. Here in a few minutes, when I get the other side done, we'll drop the Swaybar down and then try and get everything lined up. Alright, so I'll show you guys how I put this together. So we just get this without the sleeve. These should press in pretty easily. There we go, there's one. There's a second one. And then I just tap this in. Alright, and then I use the bolt to line this up in the center. And then just like that, we're good to go. And then just like the other one, we've got the original washer on both sides and then a pretty good amount of Loctite. We're going to go ahead and put it in the passenger side leaf spring. Alright guys, I wish we were done right there, but we're not. My Swaybar bushings are junk. It's actually why I disconnected the Swaybar from the beginning. So we're going to attempt to dig these out and then replace them and then finish the disconnect installation. There we go. All right, sweet. Let's go ahead and install the other side and we'll be right back. Wow, that was really easy, honestly. Very, very surprised. Super easy. Wow, look at that. So something else I need to do is mount this bracket up here. We'll go ahead and at least start checking that out. So this bracket will go something like this. It'll drop down here. So we'll see how this goes. Let me go get something to take that bump stop off. Sorry guys, there's no audio for this. I had a phone call, but you guys would probably rather not hear me panting around anyway. But yeah, as you can see here, you just got to kind of fit that bracket to where your sway bar ends up, and then you need to put the pin in there, and then you can slide your little holder pin up there. So I want to give WorkPro a shout out for sending me these flexible ratcheting wrenches. They're really nice. I've been using them a lot. I've been trying to test them out for you guys. I want to give you guys good tool recommendations, and so far I like them a lot. But I mean, you know, in all fairness, they sent them to me, but they've been doing their job just fine. They feel good. I think they got a nice coating on them. But yeah, I think we got this all set up. Now I think we can drop this, work this down, hopefully. A hammer might have to persuade the sway bar to drop down. All right, that side's done. Let's get the other one going. So this side is pushed down too far. We'll see if we can get this to drive in. So the truck doesn't sit 100% level, so some of this issue could be that. But yeah, it would appear as though we're gonna have to definitely keep tools in here to pry this up and hammer it in and all that. All right, put the pin in and then take it for a test drive. Alright, so I did get to test drive it last night. Unfortunately, it got dark. I had to do some stuff before I could drive the truck. And it drives great with the new Swaybar disconnects. What I will say is I had a hard time getting them in and out. I'm hoping with a little bit of time those will loosen up some. But overall, I'm super happy with it. Worst case scenario, I'm just going to carry around a little hammer in the truck and I can just tap the stuff out and tap it back in. It was a little bit of a challenge getting the sway bar in, or getting the pins into the bracket and kind of getting the sway bar into the bracket. But I really do believe that after a little bit of time, the bushings will wear in a little bit and it should become a little bit easier. Overall, I would say this is like maybe a 2 out of 10 as far as difficulty. Burning those old sway bar bushings out helped a whole lot. I highly recommend doing that if you guys need to replace the sway bar bushings. And overall, I think this kit's awesome. I think it was like $100, a little bit more than that. So for the ability to easily disconnect the sway bar and actually off-road and flex the way you need, but have pretty good driving characteristics, I think it's well worth the money. I think ORD makes great stuff. I'm really happy that they still even make stuff for our trucks. Lots of companies made a lot of cool things, and then over time they stopped. And I really hope that they continue making parts and developing stuff for the square bodies because not many companies are doing it anymore. And a lot of the companies that are, just their products are like way overpriced. And I think ORD hits a really sweet spot as far as quality and price and, development. So thanks for watching, guys. Please take a minute to like, share, leave your thoughts below. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.